Scraps of Time, 1960, Abby Takes a Stand, Chapter 6. Page 43, Protest. Dear Patsy, sorry I haven't written sooner, but I've been busy. Guess what? I'm a civil rights activist. Today, I helped John get people signed up for sit-ins at downtown lunch counters. You have to be 18, but I'm part of the flyer brigade. We pass out flyers telling people about meetings and protests. The flyers tell people about nonviolent protesting. No matter what, the people at sit-ins can't strike back. John has been through the training. Now he's training others. I wish you were here. I feel like I'm part of something big. Gotta go now. Hope your grandmama's feeling better. I'll write later. Your bestest friend in the whole wide world, Abby. On Saturday morning, Abby went back to the First Baptist Church with Mama and Mrs. Leona Whiteside, but no Aunt Mittie. Negroes have no money, no power, and no protection. How can we win against odds like that? Aunt Mittie had asked Mama. David took out Goliath with 5 smooth stones and a slingshot, Mama had answered. Aunt Mittie was not convinced. In the church kitchen, Mama tied on her apron. She had her big cast iron skillet with her. The ladies were cooking up more food than Abby had ever seen. Word was 500 students had gone out in groups to sit in at Woolworth's, Cress's, and McLennan's. Other stores, too. They were all dressed in their best Sunday clothes. It's all so crazy when you think about it, Mama said, snapping beans. Those young people will spend hours sitting at a lunch counter and come back here hungry. Mrs. Whiteside shook her head and clicked her teeth. Segregation comes up short any way you cut it. By the time the first protesters came back from their 2-hour shifts, Mama and the ladies had fried chicken ready. We just sat there at the counter, said a boy in a Fisk University t-shirt. We didn't get served, but neither did any of the white people waiting for a seat and yelling at us. By mid-afternoon, word came that the Harvey's manager had closed the store early. Abby felt hopeful. We won! We won! If they stayed closed, they'll go out of business. Honey, you don't think it's going to be that easy. No way, said Mama. Abby understood what Mama meant when she saw the evening news. Aunt Mittie came by to return Mama's pink shears just as the Harvey's manager was on television. She sat on the couch with Mama and Abby. I don't believe most colored people agree with what went on here today, said the manager. He went on to say that the protesters were just a few troublemakers trying to ruin it for all the good colored folks of Nashville. Aunt Mittie looked nervous and worried. Don't y'all fret none. The manager looked into the camera and pointed his finger. We will not let a bunch of riffraff come in our store and stop us from serving our customers. We'll be open for business in the morning, and things will be as usual. You can count on that. Why didn't they give our side? Abby complained. It's not fair. That's what I've been trying to tell my stubborn son. Life is not fair, said Aunt Mittie. Segregation is the way it's always been. John is headed for north for nothing but trouble, trying to change things, you'll see. But he won't listen to me or his father. Maybe he'll listen to you, Bea. Will you talk to John? Mama shook her head. No, Mittie, I won't, said Mama. Growing up in the South is like being a bird in a cage. Our children have wings, but they're never allowed to fly. By the time they get to our age, their souls are lifeless. John's mind is made up. Same as mine, Mittie. We may not change a thing, but it's worth a try. Don't be afraid. Join us. Aunt Mitty mumbled something and left in a huff. Before letting herself out the screen door, she called over her shoulder, "Can't say I didn't warn you. This protesting will only bring trouble to our own front door." Chapter 7. Struggles. "I've never been so scared in my life," said the girl sitting in the church basement. The sit-ins had been going on for about a week, raw eggs dripping from her clothing. She had been at Woolworth's. So many people were outside the store shouting and calling us names. Inside, people stood right behind us throwing things, said the other girl. "We're lucky it was just eggs." Abby recognized them from the meeting. She gave them each a cup of coffee Mama had made. "Did you see John Marshall? Is he okay?" "Oh, I remember you. You're John's cousin. You were there the day Joan and I signed up." The girl extended her hand, and Abby shook it. "I'm Terry Dietz. John and I are good friends now. Sort of dating." "Kinda." She smiled. "Don't worry, he's okay." When did John have time to date anybody? Abby thought. She liked Terry, and she liked that John liked her too. Oh, but Patsy might not be too happy about that. She proposed to John when she was 3 years old. Are you going to quit?" Abby asked Terry. "Never," Terry answered. "I'll be back tomorrow." All afternoon, Abby helped wherever she could. She made signs for the demonstrators who marched outside the store. She also made one for Terry to put in her dorm window. On a big piece of cardboard, Abby wrote in red letters, "Save our nation, end segregation." A little later, more students came back. "You should have seen the crowd all around us," one said. "They called us awful names and told us to go back to Africa." The student shook his head. "I want to fight back. I'm afraid next time I will. I can't do this anymore." Soon, John came downstairs looking exhausted. He was still carrying a sign Abby had made. It said, "Justice for all Americans." There was an egg all over it, too. Page 54. "Hey, Pete," he said, hugging Abby. "We made it through another day." Then he flopped on one of the cots set up in the church basement. Within minutes, he was asleep. Every night, Abby watched the news on television. The protesters looked so tired. Abby wondered how long the sit-ins were going to last. She wrote Patsy again. "Dear Patsy, I can't believe it. Nashville is famous, all because of protests. Mama says the whole world knows what's happening here. Do you see it on TV in Washington? The protesters sit in at lunch counters every day. They go to Creasy's, Woolworth's, and Harvey's. Lots of angry people show up to yell at them, but they never fight back. John says if they fight back, then the other side wins. Some of the protesters have given up trying. I think John is very brave. Can't wait to see you. You are the bestest friend in the whole wide world, Abby." P.S. John is a team leader, and now I'm captain of the Flyer Brigade. Hurry home so you can join us. P.P.S. John has a girlfriend. Her name is Terry, and she is really cute. Chapter 8. Sacrifices.